I see him standing there in his underwear. That was the first time I saw a boy half naked. I wanted to cry. I felt so uncomfortable.
I have to warn you, if you're a parent or if you're someone who just cares about the well being of young women, young girls, children, this is going to make your blood boil. But I think it's something that everyone should see. And I want you to really pay attention to the emotion in this young girl's voice.
I'm a sixth grade student here at LMS. I'm here to discuss the matter with a male being in a female's locker room. Imagine this is you. You're an 11-year-old girl who's coming into school thinking that they're in a safe environment. You go to PE to get ready in the locker room, and you see a boy in there. The first time you saw them, you panicked. Do I change it from a boy?
Man,
I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Do I take my shirt off? Do I take my pants off? He is doing so I think I should. I see him standing there in his underwear. That was the first time I saw a boy half naked.
I have two daughters, and I cannot express to you guys how furious this makes me. When you have school boards and city councils, whatever the particular governing body is that might dictate that it's okay for biological males to change in locker rooms with girls, this is what you're voting for. This is what happens. This is the byproduct. I've talked about this before. They always think about the feelings of the 0.5%, the 1%, the small disenfranchised minority of people who have gender dysphoria and want to live out this fantasy of being the opposite sex and occupying the spaces of the opposite sex. They always think about their feelings, but what they don't think about is the other 99.5% of kids, the girls who have to be in a locker room with a biological male. This young lady in sixth grade has never seen a boy in his underwear before, has never been exposed to a half naked boy, and didn't want to on that particular day. But you know what? She had no choice in the matter because people decided that the feelings of the few are more important than the well being of the many. And if this doesn't make you mad as a parent, you need to really take a look inside yourself and think about what matters to you. Ugh.
In a school that's supposed to be safe. I wanted to cry. I felt so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm asking for is that all students can change in a locker room that is matched to their gender.
Not what they feel like their gender is, what their actual gender is, their biological sex. That's the point. We don't want to expose prepubescent, adolescent young girls to penises. 5 years ago, this would have been insane to think about, that we're even considering this. But today, this is what you get.
If they don't feel comfortable changing so, they could change in a private space alone, making others feel comfortable in their locker room. If I was your daughter and I came to you and said I saw the outline of a male's genitalia for the first time in the locker room in a school that's supposed to be safe, I'd hope you would be proactive and find a safe place for all students.
Oh, I'd be proactive, all right. Yeah, if my daughter came to me and said she saw a penis for the first time, or the outline of a penis, or a half naked boy for the first time today, and oh, by the way, it happened to be in the locker room where she thought she was safe from being exposed to that, I'd have a lot to say about it, and I'd hope that you would too.
Not just 1%. Thank you for your time.
All right. First off, good job, young lady. Good job. You stood and spoke your mind, and you spoke for a lot of girls who are afraid to speak. But here's the thing. You shouldn't have to. This sixth grade girl should not have to stand up there. And you can feel the emotion in her voice. You can sense how scared she is. She shouldn't have to stand up there and say this because of weak adults, ideologically captured adults who want to shove this down the throats of the majority, and then a weak majority that's afraid to stand up. The result of that, the robbing of her innocence, the robbing of the innocence of the majority of young girls who have to deal with these insane leftist policies that cater to the feelings of a very small minority, which, by the way, is even smaller than you'd think because most are ideologically captured and have been infected with a contagion that spread through young men and women, young boys and girls like wildfire. But people are so afraid to be offensive that they'll sacrifice the innocence of young children at the altar of wokeness so that they don't get viewed as a bad person. Well, those of us who are logical, those of us who do care about the innocence of young girls, we need to speak up and say, hey, you're not the good guy here. This is awful. You're exposing young children to things they should not be exposed to against their will. We used to have a word for that, a phrase for that. Sexual assault. We used to consider a boy showing his privates to a girl against her will sexual assault. When did that stop being the case? When did we decide that it was okay if the boy just says he feels like he might be a girl? When did we decide that it was okay for him to go into a private shared space with young girls and expose himself to her? If you're a father in this school district and you feel the way I feel and you're not speaking up, shame on you. Shame on you. The inaction of good men is far worse than the action of bad men. It's just the same, in fact, at least, at minimum. If you're not speaking up, you're just as bad as these absolute lunatics who want to see stuff like this happen. Sorry, guys, this one gets me emotional. I've got 2 daughters, and this is absolutely uncalled for. This should not be happening, and it is a shame that a 6th grade girl has to be the one with enough cojones to speak up about this. Let me know what you guys think. As always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. If you got some value out of it, please consider sharing it with a friend. Subscribe to the channel. Until next time, guys, keep fighting the good fight. Bye.